Hey guys, so today I thought I would answer a bunch of like pregnancy, second baby questions. I asked you guys on Instagram for like a lot of like some content inspiration because honestly I've been feeling very uninspired as to what to post on YouTube in a way. I don't know, maybe it's just like I'm getting to the end of my pregnancy and a little like tired, and I want to do a bunch of like fun home projects, but I'm kind of exhausted and that sounds like a lot of work. But I also don't want to bore people with like baby and pregnancy stuff if they aren't into it. So today is going to be like a baby pregnancy focused video answering all the questions you guys sent in to me. A lot of people want to see like a baby room tour or nursery tour, which I'll do, but it's not going to be like anything crazy. I mean, I still have boxes, I have to hang some curtains here today and stuff, but it's not going to be anything crazy or fancy. But I still thought I'll go through and kind of show you our very simple approach to a nursery this time. That kind of leads me into the first and one of the most common questions I got was, what are you going to do differently with this baby? Being that it's my second child, probably some of the biggest differences with this baby is just like in how we're prepping for the baby. I mean, I still feel like I'm getting into like that nesting mode and all of that kind of stuff. But you just like don't have as much time with a toddler, and she's somebody I gotta consider too in helping her transition. So nesting is looking a lot different this time. So kind of less house stuff, but we still have like a lot of house things to do, like hang curtains in here, blinds that we're waiting on coming, which I'm sure our neighbors will be very happy about. And then just small tweaks to kind of my approach with second baby. I really haven't bought all that much stuff, I feel like. I did swap out a few things. I got a bunch of hand-me-down clothes because I have a couple girlfriends who had baby boys just recently and grew out of the clothes, and we're kind of just doing a communal like transfer of clothing. My sister's having a girl, so I gave her a bunch of Harriet's old baby clothes. So just not buying that much stuff this time, I guess, but a few things to like make it special, and some things that I wanted to do differently, which Harriet slept like in our bed with us. And she still sort of sleeps in her bed with us at like 3, 5 in the morning or something. She'll waddle her way in. So I actually got this thing as like a sidecar for our bed, for like a little co-sleeper, just to make it, I mean, we have a king size bed, but like I don't want all the overlap and stuff, and like safety is obviously very important with baby and baby sleep. I don't know if I'm gonna do like a ton that's significantly different with this kid. I mean, my approach will still be the same with like Harriet and nursing on demand. Hopefully I'm able to nurse as successfully as I did with Harriet. But I'm also trying not to hold like a lot of expectations for this kid to be exactly the same experience as it was for Harriet, because this is just gonna be a whole new relationship with a completely different child, and I'm still trying to go into it open-minded, but I do have like goals. Like I'd like to be able to breastfeed, and I'd like to be able to breastfeed for a long time. I'd like to nurse on demand, do the like kind of co-sleeping sidecar thing. Yeah, just it's gonna be a little different navigating it now with a toddler, but I feel like in a way it's gonna be a lot easier, that I feel a lot more confident in my skills as a mom, and I feel like I'm probably not going to Google as much as I did with Harriet, and I have a few things that I like understand and expect will probably happen. My biggest thing that I'm hoping will be different with this baby is just maybe the birth process. Last time with Harriet I was induced because of like gestational hypertension or like a high blood pressure, which can lead to preeclampsia, which can lead to eclampsia, which is a bad thing. So hoping that this time we can have the birth like we planned with Harriet at the birth center versus at the hospital, which there wasn't like anything wrong with the hospital birth, it just was really long and I don't want to be induced again if I can avoid it. But all in all, I mean, I don't really foresee any significant differences between how I'll approach this baby versus Harriet. Probably the biggest one of just being a lot more mindful of the fact that I have a toddler and she is just going to still need a lot of attention and adjustment with the baby. So that's probably like going to be the biggest difference, is just having not that immediate or like just the one-on-one with the newborn phase. I'll have some of that, but it'll also be a lot of like, you know, still incorporating Harriet into everything and getting her adjusted into this new family dynamic. A lot of people ask for postpartum and newborn advice for new moms. This could probably be an entire video in and of itself. There was a lot I feel like I didn't know was going to happen before with Harriet. Like I didn't know that your boobs could get so engorged it'd be like painful, and not all my friends experienced that, but like when my milk came in, it was like painful. Like I cried. Like I woke up from a nap because I had my sister and my friend over who were watching Harriet, and I was like in tears. Like my boobs hurt so bad and they were so hard and it was so painful, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have my like pump set up. Like it was so hard. Harriet couldn't like nurse them, and I like cried, and I tried to get my sister to figure out how to get the pump set up for me so I could just pump some of it out. Oh my god, it was just things like that. Like I just didn't know were gonna be a thing. I guess I knew that I was gonna be sleep deprived, but maybe that first one's just like such a shock to your system. This one I don't know if it'll be as much, because I don't know, you kind of know what to expect. But the best advice that I can give somebody who's a new mom is to like just listen to your gut and listen to your like mother intuition, because you know your baby best. Whether it's you have a feeling there's a tongue tie, not that I experienced that with Harriet, but you know, I've heard stories of like moms who feel like they just weren't heard maybe by their pediatrician or lactation specialist or whatever the case about something like that, and get second opinions. Like know that you know your baby best, and to truly trust your gut. Also take a lot of time to just heal if you can. I'm in America and we do a terrible job of offering like a sufficient amount of time for new moms to recover before having to go back to work, which is crazy. But as much time as you can take, like physically just laying down and resting to let your body recover, is super helpful. Limit the like amount of guests that come in. This is kind of crazy because right now it's COVID and everything, but even like I think something I would have done differently last time, or I should have done differently last time, would be just like to limit the amount of guests coming in. Everybody like brought us dinner, which is really nice, but sometimes people would stay too long and I was just like dead tired, exhausted, and I kind of felt like I had to like talk with them, or they'd want to know like the birth story and different things like that. So I'd be awake while they'd be like holding my sleeping baby when I should have just been sleeping because I was so tired. So, you know, setting up boundaries and expectations for if you're having, you know, if it's not COVID and all that stuff in your life when you're watching this, that you set up like expectations and boundaries for the people who are coming to visit. That, well, yes, you want to hold my baby, but what I really need is a nap. I need someone to make me food. I need someone to do my laundry or dishes or whatever, those types of tasks. Like that's what you need help with in those first few weeks. So making sure that if they're coming over, they're gonna do one or multiples of those. And then like postpartum healing, maybe I'll do like an actual little video about like I'll do a video about my hospital bag and then my postpartum items, because they kind of like go together, and I find it really helpful because I found it kind of hard to figure out what to do and get for postpartum. So I'll do another video about that too before this kid comes. How does this pregnancy compare to your last? This pregnancy has been a really hard pregnancy for not as much like physical issues, but honestly the like emotional part of having and being pregnant during this whole COVID process. Like the social isolation, the toddler home a lot all the time. It's been really hard, like emotionally. And I found that even with like Harriet, I don't know if these are the right terms for it or anything like that, but I didn't really experience like postpartum depression with Harriet. It was that last like trimester, like my third trimester with Harriet, that I had just felt very kind of like depressed and really emotional, and I had a hard time at the end of Harriet's pregnancy, and I find that I'm definitely experiencing those same feelings with this baby, and they're really even like amplified because of COVID, and just life is just not normal, and that's really, really hard. So trying to find that balance between safety and sanity has been really hard in this pregnancy because of COVID. And we're figuring it out. It's just hard, and it's hard on my husband, it's hard on my daughter. It's just freaking hard. Like, we tried for a baby after COVID came out and literally had the conversation, like, is this a good idea or not? And I just didn't want like Harriet to be too far in age difference from this child. And also, if we had any thought of maybe having a third kid, like, I really wanted to have the second kid and not put myself like, not that I'm crazy old, but I'm like 33, gonna turn 34 in January. So like, I'm only gonna get older and be more of a high risk pregnancy with age. So I don't know, a lot of those thoughts went through our head, and we just like decided to do it. And I'm very grateful that this child is coming into the world and we were able to make what we wanted happen. It's just, I definitely underestimated the emotional, and also, I mean, I guess I didn't know what to expect out of COVID, how long it would last, all that kind of stuff. I don't think anybody really did, and it's been a hard journey. Physical differences between Harriet and this kid. There's a couple. I've had restless legs with this child, which is awful. But I will put something up on the screen because I don't have it right now that I've bought and has helped me tremendously with restless legs, from like an Instagram ad, and it's like the best purchase I've ever made. I still have heartburn with this kid. I've had a stuffy nose since September, a lot of lower back pain, and I think honestly, like, I worked out a ton with Harriet, and was really active, like yoga, bar, just like working out in general. And this kid, I am not. It's terrible. I mean, all the gyms closed. I could work out at home, but I'm terrible at that. And I have a toddler who's home all the time. It's just been kind of like a crapshoot for my workout routine. I'm trying to brush up on hypnobirthing before this kid comes, and I'm trying to kind of get back into like meditating and that kind of relaxation stuff to really help with the birth, because I meditated like all the time with it because I didn't have a toddler. It was great. But I highly recommend like following your doctor's orders and getting good exercise with your child, or like when you're pregnant with child, because I have a feeling it's going to make labor a bit more difficult. But I'm trying to give myself some positive affirmations that it's gonna be fine, but I'm also slightly terrified. It's just, you know, I don't know. How are you doing with COVID and the world and everything? Which I kind of answered. Like I said, it's just been really a lot harder emotionally than I thought, and like there's just so much social isolation, and you know, we thought we flattened the curve, and then that was not the case, and things have spiked again, and it's just, you know, not feeling like I can have like breaks as much, like sending my kid off to like grandma and grandpa's is sort of scary because she's like still in school, and I don't want her to get them sick, and it's boring sometimes. Like now that it's winter, it wasn't so bad in the summer, but in the winter, like it's getting creative, like trying to not like entertain Harriet the whole time, but like definitely make her have like a nice day and things to do and go outside. And for Harriet, she's had a really hard time this summer because of like the lack of social stuff, and she's a very social child, so that was really hard. Getting her into like a Montessori school was a little scary, and putting her with a bunch of other kids, but they've been doing a great job with everything with COVID, and so I'm feeling happy and secure about that. And it is so good for my daughter that it's right now the risk kind of outweigh, or the benefits outweigh the risk. and I think she would just be really having a hard time without that social interaction with other kids, and I don't know how some of these older kids are doing it. And anyways, I'm off on a tangent, but it's been a lot harder than I thought emotionally, and just like not having to be able to hang out with my friends like when I want. And some of my friends I've only seen like a couple times this year, in a year. It's just like sad. It sucks. What makes it the right time to have a second baby? I don't know, there's no right time. I just didn't want to be too old if we thought we'd maybe have a third kid, which I have no idea if we'll have a third kid. This pregnancy has been kind of intense. Will you be cloth diapering again? We'll probably approach it the same way we did with Harriet. We're in the very beginning until he gets into like more of like that size 1 and actually fits into the diapers. We'll be doing disposable diapers. Plus the very beginning, you really just want to throw some of that stuff away that comes out, like the first poop. And I don't want to, I don't really want to buy like newborn diapers because you can buy newborn cloth diapers. I'm just going to do newborn disposable diapers until they fit into the cloth diapers. And then approach it similar to what we did with Harriet. Like if we're going to be out and about, which doesn't seem very plausible, for a long time during a day, I would just bring disposable because the cloth diapers are really bulky and kind of hard to like lug around, and you got a toddler and all that kind of stuff. So just being like flexible, but for the majority of the time cloth diapering. And then I was never able to figure out a way to not have them wet through in their cloth diapers at night, so we always did a disposable at night because I just couldn't figure out how the heck so much pee everywhere. So it's kind of like modified cloth diapering. It's not like 100%, but it's like a majority of the time. And then there's cases where disposables are just going to be used because it makes life easier. And like I said, I just could never figure out the night thing for like wetting the bed, or like it like seeping through and then they were just soaked and then I had to change them and it was kind of a pain. What's your due date? February 7th, or I like to call it guest date because it's not like the child expires after that day. Are you decorating a nursery? Kind of. Kind of. It's like a bunch of random leftover things. I don't know if I'm gonna buy like anything new really. This rug is new. But I kind of mentioned this in my previous video with like our house tour update, that I kept it really simple and neutral in here because I think my goal will just be to do more of like decorating a toddler room versus decorating a nursery, because I find that the nursery look, they really grow out of quickly, and I feel like a toddler look and like room decor can just last a lot longer. I don't want to decorate a gazillion times, even though I love decorating. Just don't have the energy for it right now. Are you nervous to go from 1 to 2 kids, and how are you preparing? I don't know if I'm like necessarily nervous. I'm really excited for her to have a sibling. She's really excited to have a sibling. I think it's an amazing thing I'm able to like give her as a sibling in life. I grew up with just like one sister, and my sister and I are like very, very best friends, and I hope that they have a really nice relationship together and have somebody, you know, when Joel and I aren't around, she'd have a sibling and stuff, you know, in her life. So I am not really super nervous. I think that I'm sure there's going to be a big transitional period for Harriet. She's really excited right now. That could totally change. She might want to send him back, but we'll figure it out. I'm not really that worried. I was at some point in this pregnancy like, good God, what did we do? I can't handle 2 kids because it's just been a lot during COVID. But now I'm very excited, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be fun to have a boy, and just that dynamic I think will just be fun and different. I don't know, I'm excited. How am I preparing Harriet is probably the biggest thing. We've just been talking a lot about it. We've watched a couple of Daniel Tigers about it. I'll probably have like a little basket set up. She has some like baby things around the house, but like little diapers and things that she can like kind of do while I'm doing. I might even put a little rocking chair in the nursery that's her size, so she can, that we have downstairs, so she could kind of like rock her baby and like nurse or bottle feed and different things like that. And then honestly just like getting her involved. She's really excited to do everything herself with the baby. Like we've been trying to tell her that like she's kind of gotta start going to bed on her own because I'm gonna have to help the baby go to bed, and she says no, I will put the baby to bed. She's pretty entertaining. So yeah, mostly just prepping Harriet. For me, I'm maybe more focused on like the birth and that kind of stuff, and then afterwards, like the baby will just fit in and it'll just work out. I don't know. I'm not thinking about it too hard, to be honest. What's your plan for visitors after baby? Trying to limit it from my experience last time, even without COVID. But it's still about a month and a half away. Luckily, some people in our family have been able to get the vaccine, which is amazing, amazing. And will be really nice, but probably some sort of quarantining for the people who would like to visit, wearing masks when they come visit, obviously being like symptom free, that kind of stuff. I don't know, I feel like my approach to COVID is a constant moving target, and then I also, like, my idea of, or like my approach is going to probably be slightly different than my husband's like opinion of an approach to everything. So knowing that like it's kind of constantly evolving, it's a moving target, and it's going to be a compromise between my husband and I too, and how we figure and navigate that out. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on like having a very specific plan, but definitely if things are bad, like we will really limit the people that are, you know, have access to our house and baby and are invited in. But it'll probably start really small and build out from there, as well as like we'll just see how the vaccine rollout happens and what it's going to be like come February. So I'm gonna ask, what's your birth plan and where are you giving birth? So I'm giving birth at the Minnesota Birth Center. Knock on wood, last time I gave birth in the hospital because I was induced, like I said. They kind of have like a whole philosophy behind their birth process. So it's, you know, like unmedicated, unassisted, as natural as it can be in a way. And it's like a midwife-based practice, and we're planning on having a doula. Fingers crossed that we have the baby in the birth center, because I'm able to have a support person as well as a doula there, which is very amazing given everything that's going on. But that could also change, I don't know. And then if we went into a hospital, I don't know if the doula would be able to come, and it just might be Joel or my support person that could come. I like their approach to birth, that it's very natural, and things like delayed cord clamping and, you know, like not constant checks and asking to be checked, and just a lot of like respect for my body, my baby, and the whole process. And hoping to do it again natural, like an unmedicated birth, like I did with Harriet. Hers just started with an induction. What have you bought for baby number 2? Like some sleeping arrangement things, a few cute clothes here and there. Harriet was born in April, so the clothes that we have kind of aren't exactly timed, so some newborn stuff that's meant for winter, so just more some seasonally appropriate things. But I have been very lucky that my girlfriend gave me just a ton of hand-me-down clothes that I've barely had to buy any clothes. It's amazing. But like clips for our stroller so we can have 2 in there, a cozy thing for the car seat because it's going to be cold this time with a baby. Not like a ton of things, but you know, maybe if I need a duplicate of something like the Hatch, what is it called? Nighttime thing, sound machine. Might get one of those. Probably will get a monitor at some point, just because our house is bigger and on 2 levels, but kind of trying to keep it to a minimum. Plus I like have everything from the first kid, so I'm pretty much like good to go. Do you like being pregnant? Yes and no. Like, I think it's very cool to have the ability to like literally grow a child in my body. It blows my mind every day, especially when I feel him moving around in there like a little monkey lately. He's like flipping and going crazy some days. But at the same time, it's also really hard. I think with Harriet, it was a lot easier. This has just been a really hard pregnancy, and that's like 90% because of COVID and 10% because of the restless legs until I found that like 8 sheep's cream or whatever. Someone asked, is Harriet excited and does she understand? I think she understands, and she's very excited right now, and she's just really excited to be involved in the process. But once baby comes, you know, I'm sure there's gonna be adjustment. She's definitely going through that, like, wants to be a baby again and emulating things, and like wants a nookie or wants a bottle, and like very normal, kind of like regressing to the baby as we talk so much about a baby coming. And someone asked, do you keep baby clothes and how much? I did keep baby clothes, and now being that we're having a boy, I have packed up a lot of the really cute stuff and giving them to my sister because she's having a girl. And then if we do have a third kid, and if the third kid is, there's a lot of ifs, a girl, like it'll come back to me, I guess, kind of rotate things around. But I keep just like really basic things, but a majority of the clothes, especially now that Harriet's in a toddler, they just get destroyed, like at daycare, school, that kind of stuff. I have a few things that I keep, and obviously if you buy nicer quality things, they last better. So I keep some stuff, but I mean, all of Harriet's stuff from like 1 to 18 months fits in one like plastic bin, and that's about it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video, a long chatty Q&A. Yeah, I just, you know, if you're pregnant and you're going through the same things, I see you, I feel you, it's hard, and hopefully we're all gonna get through this just fine, and things are going to work out, and just know that you're not alone in the pregnancy feelings during COVID, because it's hard for sure. But I'm excited to see this little baby, hold this little baby, finally figure out a name for this little boy, and just, you know, the new change in our family. It's gonna be exciting. So I will see you guys in my next video, and I'll share those postpartum tips and a nursery tour coming up shortly. All right, bye.